The single most important decision you can make in your 20s is where to live. And it's even more important than what to study, what career to go into, or even who to marry. It can really either ruin your life or set you up for life. I've lived in London for 10 years, but now I think maybe it's time for a change. I want to live in a big city that speaks English and has a lot of career opportunities. My research was narrowed down to 3 options. Move into New York, move into Dubai, or stay in London. So the plan is I'm going to these 3 cities in 1 week to determine which one is the best for a young, ambitious person to live in. I'm going to rate them across these 10 categories that are most important for me. And my judgment will be based on data, talking to locals, so we're just going to pull some random people from the street, and personal experience. And most importantly, I promise to move to the city that wins. Let's do it. Category number 1 is safety. In the list of the safest big cities in the world, London is number 103, between Athens and Odessa, finally, in Ukraine, where I actually used to live. New York is number 141 in the crime index. So the crime levels in New York are around the same as in Cairo, Egypt. Unsafe, I can maybe remember 1 or 2 situations in New York specifically when I felt unsafe.
Call me motherfucker!
That said, I am a man, so let's see what women think. Do you feel safe in New York?
I think it has its moments.
It's good to be a little bit paranoid. Know your surroundings. I haven't had any bad experiences in my 5 years so far.
I feel pretty safe. I feel like if you're aware, you're fine, but you definitely need to be aware of your surroundings or else it's sussy McGussy.
Scale of 1 to 10, normally like an 8.
As a, young woman living alone, I think it's pretty safe.
Touch wood, nothing has happened yet.
Oh, so it's out of 10, right? 6.
Now the situation is very, very different for Dubai. That is the 4th safest city in the world. Having spent some time in Dubai, literally nothing happens to you.
I don't know any other place where a woman can feel as safe as she feels in Dubai.
Oh, I'm so safe here. Could be 3 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. I can be walking out. I know nothing is going to happen. I don't lock my door.
Safety, I would rate Dubai 11 out of 10.
Have you ever felt unsafe?
Yeah?
Yeah. Dubai wins safety category quite easily. Category number 2 is cost of living. And we're going to compare the cost of living in 3 cities and then compare the price and quality. Let's go. In Tesco in London, the 5 staple groceries cost us £12.75. We're in New York, so we gotta test the cost of living. They're famous. SS New York, so expensive, so expensive. Where's the sign? Trader Joe's. So let's go and get our basic basket of goods. I'm looking for the eggs. There's no eggs. This is where eggs are supposed to be, but right now in the United States there is a shortage of eggs due to bird flu. Let's keep going. So you said you have 2 part-time jobs?
Yeah.
What do you think about the prices here? Rent, basic necessities?
It's getting expensive. Inflation is killing people.
The second element to cost of living is housing. To anybody who lives in a big city, this is an incredibly painful topic. We asked a bunch of people in New York how much they pay for rent, and the numbers, like the range of numbers we got was absolutely insane.
The apartment that me and my boyfriend share is about $5,000.
$2,700.
I have low rent.
How come?
A, because I'm fabulous. B, because I moved in 1987. C, because I live in a basement.
Here's way more expensive than any state I've seen.
The average rent for a studio apartment in New York is $3,913. Absolutely astronomical. So, in London, it's slightly less, well, actually it's considerably less, $2,454.
1.1k, I think.
I pay quite a lot of money, but I mean, don't want to go into that, but it's, I'm comfortable.
People are out here struggling, but I'm okay.
I'd move back home.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just so expensive.
Given that the salaries are also lower in London, most Londoners and also most New Yorkers spend half or even more of their income on rent. So whatever you make, half of it is going to rent, which is crazy. It's crazy. In Dubai, here's what you can get for $2,000 a month. A nice flat somewhere central, paddle, safety, basketball courts, football pitches, a nanny and a doctor. For $300,000 you can buy this flat. You know what I mean?
Dubai today, if you compare with London or US, we are the cheapest. If I have to compare with London, we are 1/3 of the price.
The cost of groceries is high everywhere, but because the housing bit is just insane. There is a housing crisis in London and New York. They can't win the cost of living category. So, cost of living, Dubai wins. Talking about salaries, category number 3 is work. So which city is the best to work in as a job and also starting a business? New York is the biggest economy, but let's look at the salaries after tax. New York has an average monthly salary of $5,289, London $4,083, and Dubai $3,872. If you're one of the few people who are not thinking about working for hire and want to start a business, New York is actually the second best city in the world to start a business. London is number 7, Dubai is way lower.
It's actually been quite tough. In the job market recently, I think in tech, a lot of layoffs are happening.
So I am getting my master's right now, so I'm paying for like a lot of different things, but I make enough to get what I need and some things that I want.
I think there's just a lot of jobs here. The culture here is very fast.
I worked in London for 10 years, I guess. Firstly in the legal sector, then as corporate consultant here at Accenture, then started a business and then making content. So London is still number 1 city in the world in terms of attracting talent across industries. Some industries maybe are better in New York, some industries may be better in Dubai. If you're into innovative real estate, maybe Dubai. If you're into finance, maybe New York. Taxes is a big deal. Industry where you go into is a big deal. But I think on average, out of these 3 cities, for now, can't bet against the United States. So for me, New York actually does win this still quite comfortably. So work category goes to the New York City. Category number 4 is transport. Since access by car and actually traffic is pretty big in all of the cities, we're going to compare public transport specifically. And London actually has the most expensive public transport in the world. What I like about the London Underground is definitely not the price, but when it comes to connectivity, intelligibility of the map for tourists and for residents, it's really, really good. Also, the design of the stations is quite nice. It's not that crazy compared to some other cities in continental Europe, but you can still see a lot of pretty stations. I would say that they're quite standardized and they feel much more high-tech than, for example, in New York.
Well, London's amazing. You know, you've got tubes, you can go anywhere, you can go into a different city, well, a different town.
New York is better connected than London, but the option is really subway and that's it.
Yeah, I think the TfL is amazing. It's one of the most expansive, incredible transport systems on the planet. It's not that expensive.
It's the most expensive public transport in the world.
Right, okay, I didn't know that.
There's always tubes running, always buses running, and if you need, you can call like a taxi or an Uber.
The transport here is relatively good, but it's very expensive now. It's gone up in price and it keeps going up.
Now let's see what New York is like. When it comes to public transport in New York City, in the Global Transport Index, it scored 8.24, which means that it's the 4th best in the world.
I think reliability, medium. I actually really enjoy taking the bus sometimes. I feel like that's a safer option than the subway.
I'm very glad that I live in a city where I don't have to drive. Subway system's great, bus system's great. Not very predictable, but well connected.
I can't lie, it is very loud at the stations and it is very dirty. I mean, Teeps. Yep. That's... Like, I think the trains are looking sexy, I'm not gonna lie. Like, look at this. Is it Eastchester? Is it? I forgot to look. I really am not sure that we are... Oh yeah, we're fine. When you go to Bronx or if you go across to New Jersey or Brooklyn or Queens, the underground does turn quite ugly quite quickly. There is a lot of homeless people on the underground here doing all kinds of things. I think the underground is just about fine, but I think when New Yorkers start praising it, saying like how amazing it is, I think they are just average underground service, I would say. I don't think it's anywhere close to London. So on this carriage, we do have the stations, and we do have like the next stop that is quite handy, but honestly, even in Manhattan, there are so many trains where that's not the case, and I'm just sitting there like, I have no idea where I'm going. This is just hella confusing, honestly. Whoa. Where are we? Dubai public transportation system was not rated very highly across any indices. They have 2 lines, I believe, green and red, but lately it's been getting much better. Even though it's still, as I understand, very, very, very hard to move around the city just relying on public transport. We noticed that all the stations look pretty much the same, as if they were built like all together, which they were. So as I understand right now, many people are coming back from work. I mean, we're almost in rush hour. Yeah, we are basically in rush hour.
It's okay. Super accessible.
A very convenient taxi on the go. You can call an Uber.
I don't miss the public transportation because in Germany...
Deutsche Bahn, you don't miss it?
I mean, I never took the tube in London because
Really?
I drove everywhere. So
In London?
Yeah, I never
You drove everywhere in London?
Yeah, I love driving.
Having traveled with public transport in all 3 cities, I would say, personally, even though London is the most expensive, in Dubai, you still kind of need a car to get around. And in New York, even though the stations are very intuitive, trains run on time-ish, and you feel a little bit too uneasy and kind of in danger there. So all this taken into account, London wins the transport category. Category number 5 is Dayton. And there's this phenomenon called the relationship recession that has hit all of the big cities around the world. London is not an exception. Experts say that London dating life is broken, and I hear this a lot from a lot of my friends. Not gonna lie, I think dating scene in big cities is not ideal. Yes, you have a lot of options, but those options are also kind of the problem, I guess. Let's see if we can maybe find a date. Sorry, are you guys at a first date by any chance? No? Are you guys at a first date by any chance?
No, it's not a first date, no.
Oh, these guys must be. Come on, come on, come on. Excuse me, guys. Are you at a first date by any chance?
No.
At a date?
No.
Okay, no? Okay, thank you. I would say that London has the most somewhat normal dating scene.
I think within my 5 years, it had been a struggle, but about a year ago, I found the love of my life.
All right,
And
how?
Through a dating app, actually.
I think this is a great place to meet people just like out and about. I don't really do the apps.
I think it's hard, but it gets exhausting.
Here it's always dating apps, nothing else.
Really? So that's what...
Because if you walk to someone on the street, even if you have the right approach, they just see you as weird.
A recent study shows that 91% of the UAE residents find dating to be quite or very challenging, 15% higher than the average rate of other countries surveyed. In the local culture, in the Muslim culture, people don't really date. Public displays of affection is not something that the local culture involves, and in the way you behave, you must respect the locals. So I think in this category, big city is just not ideal, but London just edges it and wins dating category. Next category is food. Before trying the food, let's start with the data. In the list of top 100 foodie cities around the world, New York is number 12, London is number 90, and Dubai is not in the top 100. Basically, in terms of the food scene, it seems that New York scores quite highly, but also it does so in terms of the price. But the thing is, you don't know until you try. So right now we are in London, and of course we are going to the iconic bagel shop. When this place was selling bagels, New York was like a desert. Thank you very much. A classic salt beef bagel with a pickle and mustard. The amount of salt beef, please respect the salt beef. So good. I don't even like bagels. Marrakesh.
Marrakesh.
Marrakesh. Nice. And they have a pickle tree. Literally, look. 6 types of different pickled things.
Take this
on top of it.
and put that top of it.
So in London, there's a bunch of desserts that went mega viral over the years. One thing that I know locals get a lot of my friends, my girlfriend, is humble crumble. So we're gonna go and give it a try. Yeah, let's try the tiramisu crumble. So it's $8.50. Oh my god, I forgot like spoons and So this is the humble crumble. I'm not a huge fan of the crumble, but I do like tiramisu actually, out of all things. This is quite nice actually. If it wasn't for the crumble, this would be actually perfect. For the sweet treat in New York, there was one thing here that was invented in this bakery that kind of took over the world. It's quite simple, like it's nothing crazy, it's quite gimmicky. It's called a cronut. Let's go get one. Can I get a cronut?
12 and 1 krona.
Super, super expensive. It's $7.75 or something. Okay, let's see. It's a good one. It's a good one. And this is the second pastry. Very buttery, very, very nice. In London, of course, there's many places to get a coffee, high-grade coffee on Brick Lane is where we get it a lot. Can we get 2 flat whites? It's great, one of my favorites. Can I get a iced pistachio latte, please? I'm gonna swing. Absolutely delicious. Try it.
Oh, that is very nice.
Oh, that is zesty.
That is zesty.
Oh, that is zesty.
Bro, what are you doing? What the
I think the most iconic food here, the most popular, is a pizza slice. Don't get me started with the bagels. I do believe it's the best in the world. And out of all the pizza places here, Bleecker Street is my absolute favorite. Oh, these green tiles, you can't go wrong. All right, thank you very much. I would say New York has the best food scene. Everything I've tried in New York is delicious and everything is very close. So I'd say just about, New York wins the food category. Category number 7 is fun. So for the cultured people out there who are watching, for those few, London has 192 museums and is 5th in the world in this component. New York has 140 and Dubai has, of course, way less. It's a much newer city. What about fun and kind of like entertainment?
Fun, entertainment?
There's a lot of fun and entertainment. You can see how busy it is here.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of things to do here.
There's a lot to do, yeah. Like, I feel like you can just go out wherever and find something to do.
Best music on the planet, best theatre on the planet, openings of films, galleries. You've got everything. London is, for me, is the best city in the world.
Obviously, like, nightlife is dying in London. There's a lot of venues closing down, like more venues than ever before.
Because I think it's just, there's so much to do, so much, like, everyone's just here to have a good time. New York is too much work. Everyone wants to work. But if you're going to like party all night long, New York is better.
Well, you just can't really go out late. Like, I mean, pubs obviously are great. I think pubs, they close early. There's nothing really to do like after midnight, I don't think.
When it comes to nightlife, bars, pubs, there's loads of different stats. And in none of them actually, New York, Dubai, or London are very high. Places like Rio, places like Mexico City, in Europe like Prague, have kind of taken over the nightlife scene. I think objectively, maybe New York and London, well definitely New York and London have more fun things to do. But for me at this point of my life, and also I think for any other like young person, Dubai is just more exciting. It just seems like a more fun place to be. So this category, somewhat subjectively, goes to Dubai. Category number 8 is beauty. Probably the most subjective category here, of course. All 3 cities are magical. Now, when I talk about beauty, I'm thinking people, nature, skyline. Like, these 3 cities have some of the most beautiful people. So if you want to like hang out, it's really nice. When it comes to nature, I think London is quite amazing. So London is the biggest out of the cities in terms of area. In terms of population, New York is the biggest. And London has natural parks like Richmond Park that is amazing. It has some really beautiful, more polished parks all over. It has the river, obviously. That said, Dubai is not known for nature, but it has sand and it has the sea. That is pretty cool. New York, sorry, no nature there. Aside from Central Park, that is human-made. It's beautiful, but it's not enough. So New York is out. What about the kind of aesthetics, like the beauty of the city?
New York is a great city to be in. It's fantastic.
We have beautiful women walking around, none here.
Do you think New York aesthetically, landmark-wise, is beautiful?
From an airplane.
If people think it's like New York, it's all a high-rise, concrete jungle.
In Dubai, you see everything in terms of the tallest, the largest, the biggest.
I mean, the nature, we ain't got a lot of nature.
I love like central London, all the skyscrapers and stuff. Like, I think that's beautiful. But in East London where I live, it's not very nice.
We've got Big Ben, we've got the Houses of Parliament, we've got some of the most iconic pieces of architecture on the planet. I mean, my best view is going across Tower Bridge and just looking at new and old merged.
Yeah. In terms of architecture, like, I don't know if it's a wild take, but for example, this is the tallest building in Europe, the Shard. That used to be like a really big deal. But of course in Dubai, they have something way taller. So I think as skyline, New York as a shot is the most beautiful. What I like about the London skyline and the London beauty in general is that like here it's like super futuristic, right? Then we go here and this is like the financial district. And then this is the tower that is like, what, 1,000 years old? Right on top of it, you see this very futuristic structure. the walkie-talkie, the gherkin, all of these different skyscrapers. So I think as far as the range of beauty in London is just superior. So the beauty category, London wins. Category number 9, it's kind of weird, but it's happiness. And very particular type. All 3 cities are relatively happy. Well, comparatively. In the latest World Happiness Index, the UK and the US slipped down to 23rd and 24th category. For the US, they're the least happy they've ever been. UAE here is number 21. Does London make you happy?
I would say so, but it's not my ideal place to stay forever.
I say it does, I'm comfy here, but I do like to travel out of here as well sometimes.
In some ways, yes. I think that like there's a lot of different people, and so it's a lot easier to feel like different, I guess.
You don't know where people are from. People are just like moving around, doing their and it's generally quite optimistic where we are. Whether if you're in back end of Peckham, maybe you're not so happy, but I think even when you get to Peckham, there are people from all over the planet. Brixton has changed immensely, you know, and there are people from all over the world, optimistic.
Yeah, London makes me happy. When I'm on holiday, I can't wait to come home. Yeah. That's how much I love London.
Okay, I think both London and New York make me happy. But in terms of the energy of the city, in my experience, it could be the Hollywood effect. And all New Yorkers say this, or all New Yorkers I know are like, this city makes me happy, excited, you know, optimistic, fills me up with energy. Does New York make you happy?
Yes, 100%.
Really? 100p?
Yeah, I've never been happier.
I wouldn't say it makes me happy, I would say it challenges me to grow.
All right, that's a very New Yorky answer.
New York makes me very happy. There are definitely times where it's really tough.
Does New York make you happy?
Yes. Is that looking at me? I can't.
It definitely is.
I think there's just a lot of opportunity in New York. There's a lot to do. I have a lot of friends here.
Not good for daily life. Visiting, definitely very good.
In my experience, Dubai give me positive emotions, I think, most of the time, but I wouldn't call it happiness. I don't know what to call it. Maybe I didn't spend enough time there. It has good energy, but I don't think it's a match for now for London and New York. Does Dubai make you happy?
Sure, that's why you moved here.
Does Dubai make you happy?
Yeah. It does at times.
I think Dubai is designed to make you happy. My daughter just came to stay and she said, oh, why did you leave LA? I don't like Dubai. She goes, no, I think I'm going to move here too.
It is home for me. I come from India. I've been here for 10 years, but it's home for me.
For me, I think, and for probably most people, out of the 3, New York is the city that can make people happy in of itself, just by being there. So New York wins this weird category. And lastly, category number 10 is weather. People in London, A, talk about weather, and B, complain about weather all the time. But they're actually wrong. And this is hard data, okay? This is not up to debate. So London averages about 109 rainy days a year. So it's actually raining less in London than it does not only in New York, but also in Miami or Orlando. But yet when people think about London, they think about gray weather, about to rain, like kind of like right now. Basically, but so weather-wise, New York has pretty hot summers with a lot of humidity and also quite a bit of rain, but they're definitely quite long and it's chilly for quite a while. I think New Yorkers kind of either love or hate the weather. I think it's awesome that you do get a whole range from like very, very hot in the summer with the winters that do get quite harsh. Also, it's quite windy, not as windy as many other places, but it's quite windy. Dude, I speak like Trump. It's quite windy, not as windy. Now, in Dubai, they have 25 rainy days a year. It's very hot, basically, most of the year.
I love the sun, yeah, we love the sun.
I'm fed up with cold weather.
I live in London, I love it, yeah, but I prefer here.
In a crazy set of events, London wins the weather category, which means that I'm not moving! Woo! I mean, I'm running there for no reason. The video is done.